guys, Sparky here, and today we're gonna figure out Sony Vegas together. So you're probably here because you've seen those cool kind of looking edits and stuff of different things like anime and montages, other shows, and you want to know how to make those things with the cool transitions. So I actually know a thing or two about this. To be completely honest, I've actually moved on from Sony Vegas maybe a year, maybe back in October 2019, and I started using After Effects because, in my opinion, Sony Vegas is alright. I feel like it's sort of for these kind of things, but it does work pretty well. It's a lot easier to learn in my opinion. But there are a lot of disadvantages that we'll get to as we edit through. So we're going to be making an edit from scratch together. And I'm going to be teaching you everything you know. It would be helpful if you knew a thing or two about Sony Vegas, but I'm still going to go through everything. So you're going to go to new project, and as you can see, you get this. Right now, you don't need to worry about any of these settings, not at the moment at least. When you worry more about quality and frame rate and all these different things to make your video come out better, you can worry about that then, but for now let's look over here. So we have width and height. This is a basic size. This is what you see YouTube videos in mostly, but let's say you're editing for a different social media like Instagram or something. There's 1080 by 1080, which gives you the full square, and there's also 1080 by 350, which would give you portrait, that sort of portrait looking one. But for now, we're going to be editing in the basic size. And we're just going to click OK. So now you have your project. First thing you want to do is head over here, press Save As. I'm going to say this is, I totally didn't have a first trial of this. We're going to save that as Sony Vegas tutorial. Of course, name it after something accordingly. But make sure you get into the habit of Control Save S or save constantly, because you might end up crashing and losing everything if Vegas doesn't end up like auto-saving enough. Let's talk about importing things. So you have this whole blank timeline. There's nothing in your library yet. You want to head to import media. Look for whatever you're going to need for the edit. So I have my audio here, the audio that I chose, and I have a couple of compilations. So you'll notice like the file type, AVC, usually just means openable on Windows. And these are both MP4 videos. When you're importing things from things like iPhone and other things, you might notice that there's .mov or other types. Unless you have QuickTime on your computer, Sony Vegas might not be able to open that, so be mindful of that. I downloaded QuickTime so I can open those things, but that's something to be keep an eye out for. So I'm gonna select these things and open them. Now they're in my library. They're not in the actual video yet. The timeline is completely blank. There's no layers. So we're gonna drag in our first layer, which is gonna be the audio or like the music we're going to edit to. I just have this lo-fi beat, of course. When you see edits, you usually see them in like pop songs or just different popular songs. But of course, for copyright purposes, we're not doing that. So yeah. When you first drag it in, it's obviously super long. And right now we're gonna choose which section of the audio we want to use. So if you click here, it trims everything from the left, so everything that was on the left of the clip is gone now. If you do this, if you do this, it trims everything from the right. And if you do this, it splits it in the middle. So we're gonna do this because I don't want this portion of the audio. And I'm gonna listen through and see which part of it. So this is kind of what I want. It sounds like the audio kind of loops itself for like a couple times, like maybe 4 times here. When you pull in from the corners, it does things like fade in and fade out. So I'm gonna do a fade in and a fade out, so it kind of sounds very smoother. So the next thing you want to figure out is hitting things on the beat, like getting your clips on the beat. Since that looks very satisfying, that's kind of the point of it sometimes. So as you can see, you have these waveforms kind of going on. So following the waveforms, you can kind of see where things get louder, like when a beat hits, or you can just listen through, or you can import someone else's edit to a certain audio, and you can use like the clip lengths they use as a reference. So I'm just gonna listen through it. You do this by pressing M on your keyboard. I don't think I mentioned that, but it adds like this little orange marker that you can use. So now you want to drag in your actual like compilation. So depending on what you're editing, you might already have the footage. Like if this is like a gaming montage, you already screen recorded your footage. But if you're editing something like an anime or show, there's different Instagram, YouTube pages and stuff that post like different compilations of like a certain character or a certain scene. Or you can just screen record or screenshot things by yourself. But I got this from like an Instagram page that posts like compilations of animes. You want to press no on this because this can mess around with the actual project. And you want to delete this audio layer since this is mostly just sound effects. When you learn to do things like voiceovers, like and maybe in the intro you'll have your the character you're editing like say something funny or something. But for now you don't need this. So like I showed you earlier, you want to go through and pick the clips you kind of want for your edit. So I'm just going to quickly go do that, and you want to line them up to the markers. Now here we go. I have all my clips together. I even added like a little intro clip. This is probably the longest clip, and this won't repeat itself. This is just for the intro to make sure it's not like a black screen. Make sure that all your clips are like fitted together very well. If there's any spaces or anything like that, it'll have like black flashes and stuff. So let's say your clip is too short, you want to press Control on your keyboard and stretch it out. That'll make things slower. This is not the most efficient method, but this for beginners, it's alright. If you go this way, you can also speed up a clip in case it's too big for like a beat you want. And yeah, I'm just gonna quickly clean up some of this, make sure everything's like in its own section. There we go. So yeah, so if we rewatch this, it's pretty like on beat. So if you're happy how it syncs up, let's just quickly talk about like if you want to kind of change something in your clip, like let me look through. Let's say on this clip I kind of want to be more focused on him, like I don't want this much of the background. You want to go to video pan and crop, event pan and crop, and you want to go to the first keyframe, like just right here. You want to go to the very beginning, and you can zoom in a little bit, and as you can see there's black borders starting to form. If you don't want those black borders, you right click and you click match output aspect, and there you go, you zoomed in your clip. So for this intro clip, I'm also going to add the fade in that I was talking about. This can be applied to both audio and video layers, so to make the intro seem like a little more smoother, I'm adding like a little smooth in.